Chapter LIII. The Ein Soph Paranishpanna. There is a divine ray within the human being. That ray wants to return back into its own star that has always smiled upon it. The star that guides our interior is a super divine atom from the abstract absolute space. The Kabbalistic name of that atom is the sacred Ein Soph. The Ein Soph is our atomic star. This star radiates within the absolute abstract space full of glory. Precisely in this order, Keter, the Father, Chokmah, the Son, and Binah, the Holy Spirit of every human being emanates from this star. The Ein Soph, the star that guides our interior, sent its ray into the world in order to become cognizant of its own happiness. The Ein Soph, the star that guides our interior, sent its ray into the world in order to become cognizant of its happiness. Happiness without cognizance of happiness is not real happiness. The ray, the spirit, had cognizance as a mineral, plant, and animal. When the ray incarnated the first time within the wild and primitive human body, the ray awoke as a human being and had self-cognizance of its own happiness. Then the ray could have returned into its own star that guides its interior. Disgracefully, within the profound bosom of the voracious and dense jungle, wild desire gave birth to the I. The instinctive forces of nature trapped the innocent mind of the human being, and the false mirage of desire emerged. And the I continued reincarnating in order to satisfy its desires. Thus, we remain submitted to the law of evolution and karma. Experiences and pain complicated the I. Evolution is a complicated process of the energy. The I became strong with experiences. Now it is too late. Millions of people have been converted into monstrous demons. Only a tremendous revolution can save us from the abyss. When the human being dissolves the I, then there is a complete revolution. Human beings will stop suffering when they are capable of dissolving the I. Pain is the result of our evil deeds. Pain is Satan, the psychological I, because Satan is the one that makes the evil deeds. The abstract absolute space, the universal spirit of life, is absolute happiness, supreme peace and abundance. Those who make mysticism out of pain are masochists. Satan was the creator of pain. Pain is satanic. No one can be liberated with pain. We need to be alchemists. The I is dissolved with alchemy. Desire is the root of the I. Desire is transmuted with alchemy. If you want to annihilate desire, you need to transmute. Sexual desire is transformed into willpower, and willpower is fire. Miserly desire or greed is transmuted into altruism. Anger, frustrated desire, is transmuted into sweetness. Envy, frustrated desire, is transmuted into happiness for the good of others. The words of desire are transmuted into words of wisdom, and so on. Analyze all the human defects, and you will see that they have their foundation in desire. Transmute desire with alchemy, and desire will be annihilated. So whosoever annihilates desire dissolves the I. Whosoever dissolves the I is saved from the abyss and returns into his own or her own interior star that has always smiled unto him or her. Only with the holy alchemy can we dissolve the I. The fundamental base of alchemy is the Arcanum AZF. The angels, archangels, seraphim, potencies, thrones, etc., are the exact outcome of tremendous interior revolutions. We already passed through an involution, the descent of the spirit into matter. We already suffer horribly in the evolution, a complicated process of the energy. Now, a complete revolution. Re-evolution, or revolution, is urgent. This is the dissolution of the I. No one can be happy until reaching his or her interior star. We return to the super divine atom based only on internal revolutions. Little by little, we pass through the angelic, archangelic, seraphimic, logoic, and so on, etc. states, until finally the ray will fuse with its star, the Ein Soph that shines with happiness. The abyss is terribly painful. The horrible antithesis of the Ein Soph is the abyss, the klipot of Kabbalah. The klipot are atomic tenebris. They belong to the lunar path. Let us analyze the divine primordial atom from which the 10 sferot of the Kabbalah emanate. If we observe, we find 1. The physical body, 2. The ethereal body, 3. The astral body, or body of desires, 4. The animal mental body, and 5. The essence, normally bottled up within the I. For most beings, especially this Homo sapiens race and root race, beyond this essence exists the divine triad that is not incarnated within the human being. Number 6 is the causal body, the human soul, the manas, the superior mind. Number 7 is the Buddhic body, the divine soul. And number 8 is the Atmic body, the innermost, the monad. The 5th and the 6th are related because the 5th is a fraction of the 6th. We have a fraction of the human soul incarnated. We have a fraction of the human soul, or rather, this is the essence, or Buddhata. Atman in himself is the ineffable being, the one who is beyond time and eternity. Without end of days. He does not die, neither reincarnates. So the ego is what returns, but Atman is absolutely perfect. Atman unfolds himself into the spiritual soul. The spiritual soul unfolds into the human soul, who is the superior manas. The human soul unfolds into the essence, or Buddhata. In total, these are principles. This essence is the one that incarnates in its 4 vehicles. The essence is dressed with them and remains bottled up with the psychological I, the ego. The mental body, the body of desires, the ethereal body, and the physical body integrate the personality. The essence remains bottled up within the ego when penetrating these bodies. The mental body, the body of desires, the ethereal body, and the physical body integrate the personality. The essence remains bottled up within the ego when penetrating these bodies. That which returns is a fraction of the human soul. Beyond the theosophical triad exists a ray that unites us to the absolute. this ray within the human being is the resplendent dragon of wisdom, the internal Christ, the spherotic crown. The Kabbalah describes it as follows: Keter, the Ancient of Days; Chokmah, the Sun, the cosmic Christ; Binah, the Holy Spirit. The spherotic crown is the first triad that emanates from the Ein Soph. In the final synthesis, each one of us is nothing but an atom of the abstract absolute space, the Ein Soph, which is found secretly related with the pineal gland, the Sahasrara chakra, or Church of Laodicea. We must make a specific differentiation between the Ein Soph and the Ein Soph Paranishpanna. In the Ein Soph, interior realization of the self does not exist. But the Ein Soph Paranishpanna, interior realization of the self, does exist. Any Mahatma knows very well that before entering into the Absolute, the solar bodies must be dissolved. The day in which we will be liberated, we will leave, we will abandon all of the vehicles. So for what purpose do we build the solar bodies? With which purpose do we descend into the ninth sphere, if we must abandon the solar bodies? With what purpose do we build something that we're not going to use? An atomic seed from each one of these Christic vehicles remains when they are dissolved. It is clear that in these vehicles 4 atomic seeds remain. It is indubitable that these atoms correspond to the physical, astral, mental, and causal bodies. It is obvious that the 4 atomic seeds are absorbed within the super divine atom, the Ein Soph Paranishpanna, along with the essence, spiritual principles, laws, and the 3 primary forces. Laws, or rather, the 3 primary forces. Afterwards comes the profound night of the Mahapralaya. The Ein Soph, without intimate realization of the self, does not possess the 4 atomic seeds. It is just a simple atom of the absolute abstract space, with only the 3 primary forces, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, within. The Paranishpanna atom of the Master that has been liberated is very distinct from the Ein Soph atom that is without realization of the Self. In the aurora of a Mahamanvantara, a self-realized master unfolds his bodies by putting their germs into activity. He possesses his solar bodies. He can restore them at any moment that he wishes. The fact of having built these bodies gives him autonomous cognizance. The Ein Soph that possesses the atomic seeds can reincarnate at the hour that it pleases. And it remains dressed with its solar bodies. When the Ein Soph wishes to manifest itself, it emanates those solar atom seeds and appears at any given place in space. There is a formula that defines all of this. CONH. These are 4 forces, the 4 bodies of the initiate. 4 bodies, with which the satiety is dressed when the satiety wants to be manifested. C is for carbon. In alchemy, the letter C symbolizes the conscious body of willpower. It is the carbon of occult chemistry. O is for oxygen. In alchemy, the letter O symbolizes the true solar mental body, which was built in the forge of the Cyclops, the oxygen of sacred chemistry. N is for nitrogen. In alchemy, the letter N symbolizes the authentic solar astral body, which is very different from the body of desires. It is obvious that the legitimate sidereal body is the nitrogen of occult chemistry. H is hydrogen. In alchemy, the H symbolizes the physical body, the three-dimensional vehicle of flesh and bones. The four atoms are within the Ein Soph Paranishpanna, and from there emanate the four bodies with which the deity dresses itself. The deity builds them instantaneously. In other words, at any given moment when the deity wishes to work in a world for the good of humanity, and then it appears as a self-realized, a self-cognizant master, owner of life and death. The holy affirmation, the Father. The holy negation, the Son. Holy reconciliation, the Holy Spirit. These three primary forces manifest themselves through the three atoms: carbon, oxygen, nitrogen. The H, hydrogen, is a force that is independent from the other three. Therefore, it is the physical vehicle which serves as an instrument for the body of will, mental and astral bodies. We do not exaggerate if we emphasize the alchemist's transcendental idea that an Ein Soph Paranishpanna atom possesses within itself the four atomic seeds C-O-N-H, carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, hydrogen. With these four alchemical atoms, the Ein Soph Paranishpanna rebuilds the Merkaba, the chariot, the solar bodies, in order to enter into any universe when it is necessary. We must not forget the Merkaba is the chariot of the centuries, the celestial human being of the Kabbalah. As a sequence or corollary, we must affirm that those who have not performed the work in the ninth sphere, sex, indeed do not possess the chariot, the Merkaba. It is unquestionable that everything changes in the active field of the Prakriti due to modifications of the Triguna Maya Shakti. Triguna Maya Shakti. And that we, the human beings, also modify ourselves in a positive or negative way. But if we do not build the chariot, the Merkaba, the Ein Soph, remains without intimate realization of the self. Those who have not eliminated the Abhayan Samskara, innate fear, will flee from the ninth sphere by telling others that the work in the forge of the Cyclops is worthless. These are the hypocritical Pharisees who strain at a mosquito but swallow up a camel. Matthew 23:24. Chapter 23, line 24. These are the failed ones who do not enter into the kingdom, thereby not allowing others to enter. Truly, sex is a stumbling rock and a rock of offense.